tried the advanced. I've tried the trigger. Now I've got the ace. I've even got a new discount code. I'm putting the Gaahleri ace level brush through its paces. Find out more right here on Gaahleri Stuff. Hi there, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today I am putting the Gaahleri GHAC-98D airbrush through its paces. This is the ace level brush in their range. I'll show you what you get inside the box. I'll show you spray out on some paper, but then I'll show it being used on an actual model kit, because at the end of the day, that's what it's for. Okay. Now, Gaahleri have stores in Amazon UK and Amazon Germany now. Previously, you had to go to Amazon USA. You don't have to anymore if you're in Europe. You can go to the UK store or the Germany store. The link to the Gaahleri airbrushes I've reviewed so far at the UK store are in the information box below here. There's also a 10% discount code which works through to October 15th. So if you see this brush or indeed the others, you really like the look of it, make sure you make a note of that discount code and apply it, and that'll get you 10% off when you buy one of these. If you like the video, and I hope you do, please remember, Imperial thumbs up if you'd be so kind on the like button below, because every like counts. And if you haven't done so yet, please do remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for all my future content, be it reviews, kit builds, or anything else that takes my fancy. If you'd like to support the channel in a more concrete way, you can do that through Super Thanks, by becoming a channel member, or by using any of my online partner programs. This was sent to me as a free review sample. You should know that. However, Gaahleri didn't then send me a list of things to say or requests or anything like that. I have contacted them for further information about one or 2 points, and they've given me some information back, but that was at my request. They, like you, want an honest appraisal of how this airbrush is performing, and that's exactly what they, like you, are going to get. So let's make a start and have a look at what you get inside the box of the Gaahleri GHAC-98D Ace airbrush for your money. So this is what you get, the Gaahleri Ace series. This is Classic, Advanced, Premium, Ace and Supreme. At the moment of recording, Ace is their top level. You get the usual Gaahleri packaging, very glossy, nice sort of graduated silhouette of the product. It's a slip case. Inside there is the box itself with the stamped logo. Inside the box lid is a diagram of all the parts. That's very useful. So if you're doing a deep clean and you drop something, maybe, and you can't find it again, then you can phone them up and say, or email them and say, hi, by the way, I've lost my needle guide. I've lost, that bit that just goes behind the thing there and whatever. You can actually tell them. And it also, when you're doing a video like this, it's actually quite good, because you can makes it sound like you know what you're talking about when you use the right part names. Anyway, that's all very good. That's a common feature to all Gaahleri airbrushes, by the way. Test sample. I would have to have a note, actually, have a nose with a loop or something to see whether this is a real test sample, or maybe buy another one and see whether that's exactly the same. I don't know if this is actually from this brush or not. They do say they test every brush before it leaves the factory, so yeah, maybe it is. Inside, start guide. Again, this is common to all Gaahleri brushes. You get the same kind of thing. How to put it together, how to use the paint starting to airbrush, the basics of using it. Common errors in paint, for example. If you see large bits of paint, then you probably need to clean the needle cap, or maybe even the needle itself. All these other things, all very good. All how to switch colours, very, very important. The basic instructions for how to look after your brush, which most people who use their brushes should know these things, to be honest with you. Deep cleaning, every now and again you have to do that, and where to add the lubricant. They give you a lubricant for the trigger. Okay, there's some spare washers in here, O-rings. Couple of the two white ones I think are PTFE Teflon ones, and inside there's a brush itself. So we have the main body of the brush with a quick release fitted. That unscrews if you don't have a quick release system. There's a removable pot and a different needle. It comes with the 0.38mm needle fitted. There's a 0.5mm needle as well, and there's a tube of the lubricant you need for the air valve piston in here, just to keep that going when you've done a deep clean, for example. Having a look at the airbrush itself, it's got a nice heft to it. I like airbrushes with a bit of a heft to them. Oh, you've got this protect cap at the protector front there. That's really good if when you're back flushing, when you're cleaning the brush, you've put some cleaner through it, and then you block off this and then just push some air supply through, and it blows air back out, and then you can get rid of that. It's called back flushing. That cap really helps to do that. That's a nice touch. Okay, so yeah, it's very, very similar to a lot of their other airbrushes, I have to say. At first glance, you wouldn't notice a difference, perhaps. It's got I guess this is a 1/4 ounce cup that sits in here. I'm guessing, and I am guessing, that other cups in the range would fit this. So if you've got another brush with, say, the 1/2 ounce cup, I'm guessing that they will fit on. Do have a look at how shiny that is. One of the things about Gaahleri airbrushes is that these pots are very highly polished. That does two things. First, it means that the paint goes in quite easily. It hasn't got as much resistance. If you've got a lot of paint, it will go down into the reservoir a lot more easily. And secondly, and most importantly, it's so much easier to clean when you've got a really nice clean surface to begin with, a nice sort of smooth surface. These are really well polished. In here, we have the access to the needle, of course. Just comes out. The needles, Gaahleris, they're sort of slightly springy. I mean, you can't go and get them back again, but they're slightly springy, so you won't damage them. It's a lot more difficult to damage them. And you do notice when you pick it up and sort of run it through your finger like this, you do notice that this is it feels a much smoother transition. I know it sounds daft that you might better feel that sort of thing, but you can. Your hands and your fingers can feel amazing differences in texture and quality. At the front end of here, of course, is where the nozzle is, and it's a drop-in nozzle. So when you want to swap them over, or when you've cleaned them, you can just drop them in. One thing here, if you can see, it's got these little channels around the side. There's, I think there are eight channels around the side, air channels. That's where the air sort of bleeds around. A lot of brushes have only got one or maybe two. These got 8, so it gives you a nice even airflow around the tip, which is quite useful. It means you get better atomization for a start. And yeah, just put the needle back in place, and then your guard goes on. Of course, you've got the controller here, so you can limit the travel of the brush. And here's the quick release end, comes off, so you can just put your airbrush straight onto that if you want to, or if you've got a quick release system, it will click into that. And of course, the needle guard comes off for cleaning, but do be very careful with that needle tip. Maybe slightly sprung steel, but you do not want to bend to the very, very end of that tip. Okay, that's pretty much what you get. You do get, as I say, the extra needle and the extra nozzle for 0.5mm as opposed to standard 0.3mm. So this is all very good. I mean, this is the fourth Gaahleri brush I've seen and used and opened the box off. It is very, very similar to the rest of them. As I say, I do like the weight of these. A lot of people say they're heavy. I don't believe they're heavy. I think I like a bit of weight because if it's got some weight, it's got some inertia, so it's less likely to wobble around when you're doing things. That's my reasoning. Anyway, I like the quality of these. I like the presentation of these. Let's see how we get on with actually airbrushing something. I'm going to just have a quick look at what the brush does here. So, oh, you can get really fine lines from this, as well as obviously doing quite big areas. The large area stuff, yeah, the atomization looks pretty good, to be fair. If we then sort of put a lot of paint through, it covers very well. But then, again, closer than you can do. This is a very loose paint mix, by the way. I've just been doing some panel lining. If you get the flow rate right, you can get some really fine work. Without much of an issue. That seems better than the other brushes I've used from Gaahleri. But again, you can do large areas quite nicely. Very, very controllable. The flow's nice. I'm using probably about, maybe 50-50 paint to thinner. I'm using ICM paint here. It dries very quickly to a matte finish. And it does cover very quickly as well, if you want it to. Or you can put like a really gentle sort of mist line of paint over it. This is going to be so good when I'm doing pre-shading, because I'll be able to do the pre-shade lines so pretty easily. Without any major issues, and then put the colour on top just as much as I need. And that's a lovely brush, actually. It's a really nice brush. It feels and looks on this really fine stuff. I'll try a bit more up here. On the really fine detail, this feels better than the other brushes I've used, to be honest. This is a better brush for really fine detail, tiny spots. And the control for these tiny spots is really good. You can really work well with them. And then, as I say, with the same brush, do sort of area coating really quite nicely. It's a really good brush to use. I'm very pleased with it. The only reason why I would use the my other brush that I use all the time, actually, really, the GHAC-98D is the trigger. For a lot of use, this trigger is fantastic. I'm just so comfortable. But for really sort of fine detail work, where you're going to be like in close It feels like drawing with a pen, actually. You know, it does feel like drawing with a pen. You can get some really fine results. And you can sort of splash it and get effects as well, like, you know, splash effects if you want. That sort of thing. Can lay down a lot of paint and then just sort of squirt it out to get like spidery effects, things like that. You can do that if you want, or you can really gently add tones and edges. It's considering this is a 0.38mm nozzle. I think the work you can get here is very fine indeed, and I'm very impressed by that. Right, so I'm now going to spray on some Tamiya XF. There's a mixture of XF24 dark grey with a bit of XF50 field blue in it. Kind of approximates to RLM75. So anyway, just going to paint on a few sort of markings. And what I like is being able to add in little dots of colour here and there as well. It's a really easy-going brush to use. It's very easy to do. A big sort of leopardy pattern. This took 5 minutes. I mean, it's not brilliant, but then, you know, it's really, I think it's grand. And I think it's quite convincing for a 1946 or 47 bomber. The most important thing is this. I mean, let's see if we can show the pattern. It's quite fine. The edges, the atomization is quite fine. And remember, this is a 0.38 needle. If you can, if you wait until the 0.2 comes out, or indeed the 0.2 has already come out and you're viewing this review a bit later, a few more dots in, then you can get even finer detail already. But those spots are lovely. That's nicely diffuse, not too sharp, and I think makes a really convincing camouflage. So yeah, great stuff. Okay, what I've done here, I've got my grown-up camera with a proper macro lens on because it gives you really nice quality. I've gotten as close as I can to the two needle types. Now this needle here is the type that actually came out of my GHAD-68, you know, my trigger one, the advanced range. And this is the one from the ACE kit, the GHAC-98D. What I think you should be able to see, and I can certainly see it with the naked eye, I don't know if you can see it on the video, whether it comes out very well, is you'll notice as I move my pen up and down, you can see the reflection coming nice, sort of glistening a bit more on the ACE one. And also notice the step here, where it goes from the main part of the needle to the step down towards the nozzle. That's really smoothed out, whereas here it's a very definite step about here down towards the tip. This gives you a much cleaner, sort of better airflow, and that's part of the reason with this and the mixing around the nozzle. That's why you get such really well defined patterns on the edge of your spray, the atomization. This, of course, is a premium product. This is why this costs quite a lot more than this, because to make this costs a lot more than to make this. Whether you can have, say, your favorite trigger airbrush and then put this with its nozzle into it, I don't yet know. I'm going to ask Gaahleri whether that's possible. But what I will do is also I'll take a photograph of this and blow it up a bit, so maybe it'll be a bit clearer the differences. Clean up on the airbrush when you've been using it is very straightforward. I've been using acrylics, so what I use is just some very hot water, some piping hot water. This is where the mirror surface really comes in useful. Clean up on the brush is easy. I'm using acrylics, so I put some hot water in first. Cleaning up black as well, which is always going to be tricky. Although, if you're going to do a proper test on an airbrush, use a green, a good green, like a really rich green, because they are a nightmare to get rid of green. It takes forever. Anyway, I'll just get rid of the water when it's there. And already, I hope you can see the mirror finish there. It's already looking pretty good. If we just wipe that clean, there you go. Cut good as new, literally just with a bit of water. Because it's a mirror surface, you can just get that paint off straight away. Paint doesn't adhere as much, and also can get out really quickly. Now you can then just worry about cleaning out the rest of the brush. Of course, what we're going to do is just do a bit of back pressure on here first to clean out the backflow chamber there. Maybe just a couple of times. Again, this is just hot water at the moment. There we go. And then just flush it through with some hot water. I'll just do that in my little pot here. My well-used pot, as you can see. I always like to run just like a pointy, these are like nail cleaning thing, for doing your fingernails, edges of, getting into the edges of your fingernails. I find this really useful for cleaning out the nozzle. Just pull the needle back slightly, obviously, so you don't mess around with the needle here. And just clean off that. That's cool. You can also use the same kind of thing just to get in there, just to make sure there's nothing in there as well. Those sort of pointy cotton buds you use to, I believe in America, for example, use them to clean firearms with. Those pointy ones are really, really useful for that as well. Okay, just double check the needle's clean. It's just a little bit paint dried on the top there. There we go. That's got it. And then put the needle back in, and we are ready to go again. So it really doesn't take much cleanup between uses. Okay, so I've tested 3 double action airbrushes from Gaahleri now, the GHAC-98D, GHPM65 and the GHAC-98, so the advanced, the premium and the ace. Which would I have? Well, if I was just starting out, just wanted to try airbrushing, new to the whole thing, definitely advanced. It's really good value for money. Comes with 2 sets of nozzles, comes with 2 sizes of cups, and it's got the 8-point air bleed, the self-centering nozzles when you change them. Very, very good starter brush, and it actually does pretty good results by itself anyway as well. That's grand. If I'm looking at these two, I guess this one's got the scallop here and it's got the traditional nozzle in it, but it is a fixed cup, and that might be better for you for cleaning maybe. It certainly is a lot easier on feed, and it's a good brush. It's a really good brush, I have to say. And then you've got the ace. The ace has got interchangeable cups, interchangeable nozzles, and again they're the drop-in type. You've got a better sculpted needle, and you've got really high quality high mirror finish in that cup. I mean, that's just really cool. I'll just zoom in on this a bit, and you could almost shave in that. Compare it to the GHAC-39 here. You can see the degree of polish is significantly better. Of course, this is significantly more expensive. So, if it were my money, I'd go for this, the Ace. It just gives you that bit finer definition, a bit better atomization, bit smoother edges, but it is more expensive. Whereas this gives you nice atomization, nice edges, not quite as smooth and not quite as highly mirrored and not quite as good as needle, but still very good, I have to say, still very good. And of course, this one, if you're starting out, this is a brilliant one to start with. Yeah, the metallization is not as good, but you do get the 2 needle sizes, you do get the drop-in needles. This is a very, very good value for money. Of course, I'm going to go for this one. I'm also going to keep the trigger action one that I tried the other day, the GHAC-98D 68, because I love the trigger action. Ace and Trigger are my new airbrushes of choice. There it is then. I like this a lot. I mean, properly a lot. It's shown itself capable of most things that I need an airbrush to do. However, it still isn't quite there on ultra fine detail, and that requires a 0.2mm nozzle and needle. This goes down to 0.38, so twice as big as one I think you need for ultra fine work. However, I believe one is in the works. It may be compatible with these. It will be the drop-in nozzle type, but they are also releasing a supreme level product at the end of the year or beginning of next year. So we'll see how that goes. However, I love the mirror finish in here. So get it clean, absolutely astonishing. The atomization is beautiful already with this. So I think with a 0.2mm needle as well, this could be an exceptionally good range of airbrushes. So if you liked the show, and I hope you did, please do remember, give it the imperial thumbs up on the like button below, because every like counts. Do please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell if you haven't done so already to get notifications of when I publish new content. And of course, don't forget the 10% discount code in the information box below if you're interested in this or any other Gaahleri airbrush. Thank you so very much for watching. Do come back for some more. Take very good care now, and goodbye.